Today we're setting up some moss ledges. Don't go anywhere. What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How you guys doing out there in fish tank land? Today I got something pretty cool. I got these cool little moss ledges from Chaz over at elevateshrimp.com. 2017 aquatic experience. I hung out with him for a little bit. He talked to me about different kinds of shrimp food. I got some really cool shrimp food from him. And I also got these moss ledges. Now these are 3D printed moss ledges that he creates. I also want to say I hope he's doing well. He just had surgery just like this last week. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healing up, man. I've got all these really cool mosses that I've collected from this Aquashella and from the Aquatic Experience 2017, and I need to get some of these guys transplanted onto some moss ledges and kind of keep everything organized. So this is my plant grow out tank and kind of a quarantine tank for my local wild guppies. So I have different Anubias and some Anubias nanopetite. I have some Bucephalandra here as well. And I have a handful of different kinds of mosses. On the left hand side you'll see I have a moss ledge there and it's really overgrown. So I'm going to go ahead and trim all of that off. We're going to trim it back and make it really nice. Just get rid of all this overgrowth. And then that'll all get tied down to a new moss ledge, just like this over here. And you see here in this tank, this is actually my Caridina Blue Bolt shrimp tank here. And I have a couple different things going on here. I have some Subwasser tang, I have some Rotella, I have some Angustifolia. It's doing kind of okay. I think the shrimp are actually eating some of the plants. So I want to go ahead and get this moss out of here as well. If you see in the bottom, the back left hand corner there, you'll see the Pilo moss there. And I did get that from Lucas Bretz this weekend at Aquashella. So I'm going to go ahead and take that moss along with the cuttings from the other moss, and we're going to go ahead and get those on some moss ledges. Okay, so we have the two different mosses that I want to work with. I'm going to have to trim off from this main moss ledge that I have here, and then I have the Pilo moss as well that I'm going to go ahead and make a moss ledge with. So this is the card that he gave me, along with some information in here. This is all sealed up. I'm going to go ahead and open this up for you guys. Let's see what we got here. So he does make some biofilm reactors, some other products as well. So I definitely say check out his website because he's got some other stuff that he's working on. And so this is one of the ledges here. And then I like these like half moon, half circle ledges as well. So one thing that I like about this this hole in the middle with the shrimp design, which is his logo, right? But I do like the fact that this hole is here, and all these other little holes, you can always run the string through. You can tie stuff however you want to. Another thing that's really awesome is if you see here, you've got these little edges, these little hooks here, these loops or whatnot. So you can definitely like loop off the string, which is what I like to do, and loop it around and just start going, and you can just run the string through these different spots, and you'll see how I like to do it. But this is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Pilo moss on this one, and I'm going to take and make another ledge with the what looks to be Taiwan Moss. I'm going to do some trimmings off of that right now. Okay, so we have the Taiwan Moss here. So if I go ahead and flip it over, you can see it's like a beard. The square is only that big, so I'm literally going to shave off, I'm going to trim off all of this here. So while it's flipped over, we can go ahead and do it this way. And I'm going to trim it all off. Now you see the direction that it's growing. I'm going to try to keep it in that direction, and that's how I'm going to put it, that's how I'm going to tie it down to the new moss ledge. It's no different than like cutting hair. So that's the moss ledge there trimmed off. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this, I'm gonna rinse it off first to get all the little cuttings so I don't end up with little pieces of moss all over the tank. And this one's gonna go ahead and make its way back into the aquarium. Okay, so I'm sitting here with all of these moss cuttings here. I have my half moon or half circle moss ledge. I'm gonna go ahead and set myself up with a really long piece of string that I can go ahead and go back and forth across this whole piece. About, you know, probably about 12 to 13 passes across there. Okay, but what's really important for me is I like to go ahead and tie off a little bit of a loop here. And this loop is what I'm going to loop around my first little piece on this ledge. So I'll loop that over there and then I can get going and tie it off on the other end or super glue it if I have to. Okay, so we have the loop here, and I have about a 3 or 4 foot piece actually. You know, if I have a little left over, I'm gonna cut it off. So I can go ahead and take that loop and just put that loop right over the edge there, and I'm on there, right? I'm on it. So I'm just gonna hold that back. I probably should have put the moss on first. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the longer pieces of moss first. It's just easier that way, and it's a lot less likely for it to come out from underneath of the string. Okay, there we go. Now this is actually probably a little dense, but that's not so bad. It might have a little bit of die off on the underside, but we're just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that string, and I'm just gonna go all the way across to the other side. Gonna loop it again around another one of those little plastic teeth. And I'm gonna go back again to the other side and loop it and come back and just keep doing that all the way down the whole thing. Now you see that I'm not wrapping all the way around the piece of plastic. You know, I'm not wrapping all the way around the moss ledge. I'm just hooking it onto that tooth and going back across to the other side. And truthfully, that's perfect right there. That is gonna work. So I'm gonna go here to the end. I'm gonna catch another one of the teeth, and I'm just gonna go ahead and tie off a knot here. Probably do a couple of knots in a row, wrapping around that tooth and then going through the loop. Alright, I did about 3 of those little knots there, and I can go ahead and cut it off right there. Bam, and there we go. There's a moss sledge for you. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this to get the little cuttings to fall off, so I'm not taking a whole bunch of stuff into the tank that I'm gonna have to clean up later. Go ahead and trim this up even a little bit now. It's gonna grow back, so just leave it like that. And there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the next one real quick. Now all of this leftover stuff here, I'm gonna go ahead and use it later. I'll find a spot for it. I got so many different tanks. I'll come up with something for that that's gonna stay wet, that's for sure. Okay, so next we have the Taiwan Moss. And I really want to get this back into the water. This is really nice moss. I'm really excited to have some of it. I got some of this from Lucas Brett's at Aquashella, and it's just really nice stuff. Okay, so I have it kind of where I want it. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab myself a nice little bit of string here, and I'm going to make that loop again like I did before. I'm gonna get up back to the last little spot, and I'm gonna tie this around, and I'm gonna do a couple of knots like I did before, and I can go ahead and cut it. And there we go. There's a moss ledge of Taiwan Moss, and we have the original trimmed up moss ledge of the Taiwan Moss, and then a new half moon moss ledge here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these back into the tank and let you guys take a look at them. Okay, so these are the moss ledges back in the aquarium here. So yeah, you can see I went ahead and just took everything off of the original moss ledge. It was starting to rot at the bottom, So I went ahead and rewrapped it with some of the fresh stuff that I cut off the top. So I have the Taiwan Moss there, as well as the half moon piece down below. Now this stuff up here at the top, I don't know if I really told you guys about it. This is my my Physidens, as well as my giant willow moss, which I got from Lucas as well. There's a Java fern stuck in there. But there's also another moss there in the back, and I don't know what it's called. But it's just really nice to have a plant tank. It's nice to have like 2 or 3 or a whole room of just plant cultures and stuff like that for all of your other aquariums. Alright guys, so that was just a quick little video showing you guys how to make a moss sledge. Pretty basic stuff, but just want to help some of you guys out there that are just maybe beginners starting out in the hobby. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to this content, you like it, want to see more of it, go ahead and click on that subscribe button down below. And remember guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.